All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us for another Spin That Shit podcast. Today we have Jade Brodie on the show with us. Great artist. Found her through a video that Western AF put out, and since then I've kind of went down the rabbit hole on her other songs. Great artist. Working out west. Soon to have a new album out. We're going to talk about that, and possible touring adventures might be on the way as well. But before we do that, just want to say follow us online. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, of course. We're trying to grow this channel. And also there is a link below for donations if you want to help grow this thing. All the support's needed. I really appreciate it. So the love and the comments and the messaging, everything's been great so far. So we're having a lot of fun with it. And we like to support great artists and great music. So let's go talk to Jade. All right, Jade's with us. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing amazing. Glad you decided to jump on with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We heard your stuff online, and I was like, well, we got to have her on here, pick her brain, talk about some stuff, all the good stuff. Can you give us a little background of where you're from and how you got started playing music, that sort of thing?
I'm from Northern California, kind of near the ocean, Sonoma County, and that area has a really good music scene. When I was younger, I used to watch this band called The Crux play, CRUX, The Crux play, and I remember just wanting to play music after going to their shows. So my friend and I, Lena, we learned like 3 chords and started a band. So
what age was this?
My first band was when I was 18.
Okay.
We were called the Little Lost Boys.
Love that.
Yeah. So that's how it got started. And I liked fundraising, and I did some nonprofit stuff. So I started out just doing fundraisers, booking shows for that. And then it turned into me getting this like weird side hustle job actually running a venue for a minute. So for a few years I did that, and just having everybody else's music come through, and I started slowly playing shows with my friends that I was already booking, and then it just kind of grew from there. So that's kind of how it all started.
So the Little Lost Boys, you're a big Peter Pan fan? Is
No.
question A.
No, definitely very anti Peter Pan syndrome. So it was like our first name was so bad, but we were making a collage for a show, and kind of like the letters fell down a certain way, and Lana's like Little Lost Boys, and I'm like, okay, that's our band name. So
Kismet. That's perfect.
Yeah,
it was meant to be.
Exactly.
That's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Where are you located now then?
I'm in northern Nevada. Very northern Nevada.
Okay.
So, kind of desert, but there's canyons with springs. So it's high desert with water in special places.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Based off your video you did with Mike and Western AF,
mm-hmm.
It looks like a beautiful area.
Thanks. Yeah. That was on my property here, and this is my house. It's my ladder.
Very nice ladder. I was looking at the ladder.
Thanks. I got it on eBay.
Perfect. It ship on time?
Oh, on time every time.
Wow.
Yep.
It's pretty good for Nevada.
Great track record.
So with that video, I just kind of liked at the intro, you were like talking about how people helping each other, neighbors, scratching each other's backs when needed, sort of thing.
Yeah.
That kind of lifestyle out there, just being pretty remote and self-sufficient. How do you think that plays into your writing process and as far as what types of songs you want to write about and that sort of
Probably.
thing?
Yeah, my goal is, I mean, I have slower songs, but I do like writing songs that people can dance to. But how I feel about it is there's so many good songwriters that if I just write a song about drinking beer and playing
Those,
cards, like someone's gonna always write a better song than me. So I'm a real slow songwriter. I'm not busting them out once a week, prolific songwriter. I'm real slow at it. So thinking about where I live, who I'm around, that working class mentality. And my favorite thing to think about is how life is very contradictive. So, and that even plays out, you move out to the middle of nowhere to have space, but because you move out to the middle of nowhere, your neighbors are more meaningful and you end up helping them and being around them more than you would in the suburb where you can pass milk out your window to somebody. So
yeah.
I guess if you think of it that way, that plays into some of my songwriting on accident.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't talk to anybody here. I'm right next to him. I'm over it.
You're
But-
like, your woofs are too bassy, bro.
Yep. I'm done. Talking about sad writing, I saw you apologized in a post for writing too many sad songs, and I want to say recently too many sad songs.
Oh, yeah.
Don't ever apologize for that. That's it.
Yeah, I guess that's a bad habit. I had a soccer coach that used to make me do push-ups every time I said sorry. So, so I should have learned it back then. I haven't learned my lesson yet. I should start doing push-ups again every time I say sorry. So, sorry.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of sad drinking songs.
Oh yeah.
You're right
Yeah.
about that. It's
Yeah.
like 50% of country music or more.
Yeah. And it's funny too. I have so many half songs or 3/4 songs, and then every once in a while I'm like, is this a real song? So sometimes you feel like you want to kind of put something out there and see if people like it, but in the back of my mind I'm like, this isn't a real song. And then every once in a while I'm like, yeah, this is a real song. I really figured it out on this one. So
That's great. So online, we only have a few songs.
mm-hmm.
How long till we actually have a full length record or album? Is that something I'm assuming you're working on?
I'm halfway through. I keep having to postpone it. What first reason was because of COVID. I had it scheduled to do it during that time, and now it's just kind of money, and I switched jobs, and I am just going through a lot of life transitions personally. So it's just I have written some more songs, so that's the positive side of having it postponed. Is I have written a handful of new songs that I will want to have on the album, so that's a good thing. But it is difficult to. I mean, I started recording in I think 2019. So I'm like, my first 5 songs are a couple years old now, and but I'll be recording with the same people in the same studio, and the songs will still work together. It'll still be a cohesive album. I have one song that is done. I was thinking about releasing soon, just to have something released. But I got invited to go to Nashville to record with the Magnolia Sessions. So that's very exciting. I kind of felt like I was at a lull, like this, like the dark cloud, chicken licking, sky is falling sort of a deal. So that felt good to get invited to do that. And that'll probably come out sooner than my album, and that'll be a live recording.
Yeah.
most likely that'll come out before my actual album does.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
They do a good job. I like their sessions.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Staying on songwriting, you mentioned you're
Yeah.
not necessarily prolific. It's not every week or whatever, but how are you sitting down to write songs? Do you have to make time to do it? Does something have to happen to you? What's the process?
So, okay, I have purchased so many journals, and I'm gonna use this journal, and I'm gonna write so many songs, and everything I write is gonna be in this journal, and I'll never lose any notes. I'll always be able to go back to my page, and I'll have a table of contents, and everything will be great. That is never how it works. I have scraps of paper everywhere. And then I don't work for the railroad anymore. I had to resign because they forced me to Fresno, California, and I live in Nevada, and I did not feel like selling my horses and moving to Fresno and living out of my pickup truck. So when I worked for the railroad, I was a conductor and I was on the locomotive, and there's a lot of downtime, and you're not allowed to do anything on your desk except for have the rule books out. And my train order, like my train list, and my hazmat paperwork and all that, I just have all of my songs started on my train list at work.
Okay.
So a lot of my songs were started in a locomotive at work, and then I'd bring them home. Forget the melody. I never could remember the melody in the first place, so that I'd have to go home and pretend I knew the melody and then schmooze the words around to make it into a full song.
So locomotive based.
Yeah.
You mentioned melody, but what was the tempo very similar on all those or no?
No. So sometimes we would haul ass at 70 miles an hour is hauling ass on freight because Amtrak's faster, but or you'd have really crappy power and too much weight. And I have one song that we were going 40 miles an hour, and my engineer hated my guts, like beyond hated me. Like as far as a person could hate a coworker, he hated me on multiple levels. So I just put my face down and wrote a song. And, every once in a while you have to answer the radio, talk to the dispatcher. And other than that, and then the song has nothing to do with, literally I had the words underpowered going 40 miles an hour, like some crap like that in the song. And now it's open roads, which has nothing to do with 40 miles an hour, but it does have to do with this part between where I live and Elko. There's this place called Palisades where every once in a while you pass the highway, but most of the time you're passing through the Humboldt River, and you go through canyons and farms. And there's this one place called Palisades, and there's the Humboldt River, and then they cut the rocks out for the train for the railroad to come through, and it's just like pink canyons. And every time I would come through there, because some of the trains I was on had a regular schedule, it would just be the sun setting, and it's insane. I've never seen anything that beautiful in my entire life. And Open Roads is about that, plus being, having, love and shit. So, but but yeah, so there's certain songs that are dictated by, and then people have said, like, I've played with a handful of different drummers over the last couple years, and people are like, yeah, that song has a train beat, and I don't even think about it, and they're like, yeah, Johnny Cash, train beat, and I'm like, okay, so I wrote train songs with a train beat, sorry. So
it makes sense.
Yeah.
I like the backstory of that. Not many people are writing songs in a train, in a locomotive.
I mean, I guess like if you ride trains, probably people write plenty of songs on the back of a grainer or something, but I guess as many people write it in the front. So
hanging off the side or out the back.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So where you said you're going to record at the same place to
Yeah,
finish this record? Where is that? Is that local there? Is Nashville or?
Santa Rosa, where I'm from. Well, I'm from Petaluma, but Santa Rosa is basically the same as Petaluma. Petaluma is just smaller. Santa Rosa is like the next town over when you move up in the world and you know move to a bigger town. But White Whale Recordings and Stewart, I can't pronounce his last name correctly, so I'm not going to try. Marklum. Stewart is the one recording it, and then I don't know a lot about equipment, but he has one of those older giant boards that people are excited about. It's old and really big and has a lot of buttons.
Yeah.
so
He's like, this is the same board the Beatles used.
yeah, so it's still digital, but for some reason that makes it kind of analog. I don't know.
I was gonna ask about it because I plugged the phone into, I got my little hi-fi system here, and the lows, the mids, the highs, they're all there. Whatever Stuart is doing,
yeah,
keep having it on Split My Tooth. Ooh, whatever he's doing, keep it going.
Yeah. And John Courage is producing it, so he is there when Stuart's mixing it, and John is who played lead guitar on everything, and he also, I don't feel comfortable co-writing. I don't really know how to co-write songs, but he helped me. I guess that's what a producer does. Like Split My Tooth used to be finger picking and then slow at the end, and then he tried it out how it is now. So he's helped me. And then also when I went into the recording studio, that's not what I sound like live. I usually don't have a full band. I usually only play with a fiddle player, but now when I play in town, and because we all work full time, and then I finally have a drummer and a stand-up bass player. So when I went into the recording studio with those guys who are from my hometown, Dan Ford's on drums, Francesco is playing bass, and John's playing lead, and Jay Nobody, who lives here, went down with me to play fiddle. So I'm like, I want to sound like Waylon Jennings. And they're like, okay. And they like touched a few buttons on their pedals and their amps. And they're like, okay, you're going to sound like Waylon Jennings now. And I'm like, good deal. so it's, if I played like a big show where I'm from, they'd be my band. But most of the time I play with really talented musicians, but nothing sounds exactly the same when you're playing with people. So,
which is cool. I think it's cool. Some people are kind of like, man, it doesn't sound like the record, but like things evolve and change, and it's like, well, normally when I have like a spreadsheet of artists I've seen, it's like ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
But I like seeing them at different stages, and they'll have different arrangements and rework a song or whatever.
Yeah.
I would see the same act 10 times over. So it's nice for a live act, in my opinion, to have those changes.
Yeah.
So, especially early on.
Yeah. And it makes it, it is nice. Puts less pressure on you. Each show, you practice for a show, you get to play each show as each show. And most of the time I play at bars, which I like playing at bars. I have certain cover songs that I'm learning. I have like a wish list of cover songs that I want to learn. And most of the time people are dancing out here because it's kind of more of a country town. And that feels pretty rewarding. Your background music anyways. So if people are dancing, that's pretty good.
Right. They wouldn't dance if you sucked.
Exactly. Yeah. And so a couple days ago, Friday, I played a show at the Martin Hotel, which is a Basque restaurant here. And I actually volunteer on the nonprofit that helps put the shows on. So I never wanted to play there. I'm like, I don't play long enough sets. Every band that comes here is like a touring folk Americana meaningful thing. And I'm like, I'm not playing here with my ding dong train music. We had to set up a show short notice, so I got asked to play. And then my friend Forrest coincidentally came down from Oregon, was able to do it with me. And that was the first time on a stage, people sitting, everyone quiet, staring at me.
Oh man.
Lights and my eyeballs are sweating, and I broke a string on my guitar. But it was so different. And I only did 2 covers that like meant a lot to me, not bar covers.
Right.
And because people ask for more songs, and I'm like, fuck, I don't know anything else except for Good Hearted Woman. So that was nice. To play a show specific for my songs versus getting ready, practicing for a show for a bar. It was different.
Well, if you need to run and find your journals, that's fine if they're written in that. But I want maybe your 2 or 3 wish list cover songs that you're trying to learn.
Oh my God. Okay. So Take This Job and Shove It. I've been trying to learn that song. Good Girl's Gonna Go Bad. I've been trying to learn that freaking song for like 2 years. That's embarrassing. And then, God, it's endless. I have stuff written down, and then I take screenshots on my phone, and then I never look at them. And I'm like, I know I have a wish list. Those are two. And then I was learning Only Hell Your Mama Ever Raised the other day, but that one's kind of hard. The guys that I play with force me to be better. I'll learn the most simplified. Like I learned what song was it? I just learned the Eddie Rabbit song. I forgot the name of the song, even though I know how to play it. There's 2 passing chords in it, and when I learned it the first time, I'm like, I'm just gonna go from this note to that note, and my drummer's like, you have to play the passing chords. So I'm like, fuck. So I had to go back and like learn 3 bar chords to play the Driving My Life Away. You know,
Yeah.
So they forced me to not be lazy because they're actually really good musicians. I'm like, it's pretty bad when your drummer is telling the guitar player how to play a freaking song. So yeah.
I'm sure it happens a lot.
Well, it happens in my garage every week. My son is 15, he plays drums, and I just barely play guitar. He talks to me like I'm an idiot. So
they can't talk to me like I'm an idiot because they know I'll cry, but I'm sure they're thinking in the back of
You'll say you're sorry.
I'm just very overwhelmed right now. And they're like, okay, sissy, let's drink a beer and take a break. I'm like, thank you, brother.
Mental note, I'll start crying now.
Yeah, I'm sure you crying, your son will give you a whole lot more pile of respect there.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hopefully everything goes well, and I'm assuming you'll want to hit the road at some point, start touring.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to play in Texas.
Yeah, that sounds fitting for you for sure.
I have a deep desire to play a dance hall circuit, kind of a
yes,
which is such a romanticized, like I don't really know what that means, but in my mind I'm like, I want to play a Texas dance hall circuit. I don't know what that means, but I've decided that I want to play a Texas dance hall circuit, whatever that entails. So
you just make it up wherever they're dancing in Texas. You'll be there.
I really liked Kentucky. I had this tour booked 2020 in March. You know, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to leave town in March and not know that I was going to have to come home halfway through.
Mm-hmm.
And I made it to Kentucky, and I was supposed to go through North Carolina and Chattanooga all the way down to New Orleans. And I only made it to Kentucky, but I was completely content because I at least made it to my Kentucky shows. So, yeah.
What part of Kentucky?
I was in Louisville, Lexington, and Danville.
Nice.
We're about an hour and a half north of Louisville.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, we're Hoosiers. We're in Indiana.
Oh yeah.
Hoosiers.
John Mellencamp country over here. Young
Michael Jackson way up
young
north.
Michael Jackson.
Young Michael Jackson. Make sure you specify.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
What's the best piece of either musical advice or trying to attempt this life advice you've received so far, Jade?
Life or music advice, don't be hard on yourself. Don't be
That's
hard
good.
on yourself, and there's always someone better than you, so it's good to be humble.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of how I try to. I mean, that sounds pretty self-detrimental. There's always somebody better than you. I don't mean it in like a self-loathing way. I mean it in a realistic way. So just what are your values? I value kindness. So that's more important to me than being right or being good at anything, because it's all temporary. Everything matters and nothing matters at the same time. So that's kind of that mentality of there's always going to be somebody better than you, not in a self-loathing way, but just in a don't be hard on yourself and just keep going.
Yeah.
Love it.
That was good. That was a good answer.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
That's one of the
you
new,
have to do
that's
that
one of the
with
new
anything.
questions too. That's one of the
Oh,
new
cool.
questions.
Good. Yeah. And that goes for life and for music writing.
Right.
Yep.
You got to have fun with it. Otherwise, it's
Pointless.
what are you doing?
Exactly. Yeah.
So we run questions by everyone. I'm sure you might have heard a few.
Mm-hmm.
Artists you would like to work with. Is there like someone you have on a pedestal? You're like, man, I wish I could work with them.
There's this kid in Texas that do you know Joshua Ray Walker?
I don't.
Joshua Ray?
Joshua Ray Walker.
I don't. I'm writing it down though.
He's newer, he's younger than me, but I love his songs and I want to open for him. And it's not like John Prine, like there's like more prolific people that I could say, but for some reason that would be fun to at least play a show with him, work. I can't, the idea of sitting in a room and working on songs with somebody like gives me like, I'm sweating right now just thinking about it, but I'd like to play a show with him. I think that would be really fun.
Yeah.
So
Let's to check him out. I thought you were going to say Mason Ramsey, the yodeling Walmart kid.
I would love to get better at yodeling.
So that's the guy right there. Mason's
You
going to
answered that for me. I'll write that down in my notebook.
don't do that. Okay, so the second one, hopefully you haven't cheated and looked at too many of the shows, but running competition between Justin and I. If you had to choose one, the Beatles or the Stones?
I guess the Stones, because he's got swagger.
Okay, but at least you didn't seem too sure about it. But.
Hey, that's still a point on mine. All right. I'm winning this thing.
Yeah.
Are you writing it down?
Oh, yeah, we got the tally marks on here.
You have a tally mark for that answer?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm only one ahead of you, Garrett. It's been going back and forth, really.
Yeah.
So another song, or this is kind of the off the radar question.
Uh-huh.
If someone that hears your music, sees where you live and all this stuff, and they kind of judge you like, oh, they only listen to Waylon Jennings. Well, no. What else do you listen to that somebody catch somebody off guard with? We changed it. We used to say guilty pleasure, but that doesn't sound right.
Well, I mean, I guess I could tell you a silly story when I was a teenager.
Please.
Hey, we love stories.
I'm known for not telling good stories.
We'll let you know after this. We'll give it a score at 1 out of 10.
So my mom is from New York, and she, parents are like, I saw this person play and I saw that person play, kind of a deal. So I remember I would save money and go to the CD store, when you used to buy cassettes and CDs and everything. And I was holding the Velvet Underground and the Clash. And I was like, Mom, what? Mother, what CD do I buy? Do I buy the Velvet Underground or do I buy the Clash? And she's like, honey, you should buy a Velvet Underground. And I said, okay, Mom. And I feel like that moment could have changed the trajectory of my entire life. If I went down the Clash route versus going down the Velvet Underground route,
Yeah,
it could have changed everything.
that could totally.
I was a weird art kid, not
That's
some
true.
like hobo punk kid.
That's
So,
true.
I could
I
8
feel
out
like
of
I'm a
10.
mix of all that.
So does
Yeah.
that kind of answer your question?
Yeah.
I do like country music, but I also listen to a variety of other tunes and genres. So, including Wu-Tang Clan. I have that on one of theirs on cassettes.
There you go. You got to listen to everything. Everything good, listen to it.
Yeah,
That's all there is to it.
exactly.
Okay, next one. Oh, that was an 8 out of a 10 story. That's great.
Hold on,
Okay,
I got
thank
a
you.
tractor driving by. What the hell?
I can't hear the tractor. You should be all right.
Country
Yeah.
living.
I forgot to ask my swamp coolers on. I hope it's not too loud. It's too late because we're basically through towards the end of our talk.
No, we're good. So, question 4 on the hit parade is: if you could wake up tomorrow, play any instrument flawlessly, you just know how to wail. Fiddle? Why?
It's always been my favorite instrument. My grandpa, who I didn't get to meet, who's the only musical person in my family, is my grandpa, who I didn't get to meet, played the fiddle. And I took a couple of lessons, and then I didn't practice enough, and then I basically broke my shoulders, and I'm just now starting to be able to like move it again. So yeah, fiddle.
So is hot
It
sling
makes sense
summer over?
talking about going to Texas.
Hot sling summer is
Is it over?
over.
It's kind of sad though.
I mean, I can put it back on just for a couple of tanning pics. I really want to get a water trough, one of those. I want to bring one of those water troughs home from work so I could have a pool party.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Got to do it up right.
Exactly. Get some pink flamingo so it feels tropical.
That's you'll have to post that when you do.
Uh-huh.
What was the other question, Gary? I don't even remember what I got.
It's normally well, I think you
Oh, I
changed it
know.
last-
It's stupid though. I hate this question. We need to cut it. We'll
My-
ask. We'll ask it, but you're going to be the last person to answer this question
Okay.
because sometimes the answers are pretty just boring.
Meh.
Yeah.
Okay, what is it?
Maybe you'll excite us with something crazy. If you had an evening to yourself, what would be like something you would want to go do? What's like a good time for you? You going to hang out with your friends at a pool party, like you just said, or you just stand by yourself writing some music?
Do you want to know what my life goal is right now?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm starting to learn how to rope because I work on a ranch now, and this branding season is the first year that I started roping. So I have this very intense life goal to get good enough at either breakaway or team roping so that I can rope at one of the small ranch hand rodeos and then play a show afterwards.
Great
sounds
answer.
awesome.
We have to keep the question.
I know that might be the best one. Usually it's like, yeah, I'm gonna hang out by the fire, which is cool. That's what I like to do too. But I wanted something
If
crazy.
we're talking about dream life, best possible scenario, that's my answer.
That's how we need to frame the question.
I was gonna say yes. That's why we've been asking it wrong. You've helped us. We're
Thank
writing it down. I just got back from out west, and I was in Cody and went to the opening night of their rodeo. Cody night. That's a good time. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
They do like a rodeo every night for 3 months straight or something in the summer.
100 days, 100 rodeos.
Something like that.
Yeah.
We
I
don't
got
have too many
I
out
got
here.
Cowboy channel on my TV.
RFD TV?
Well, I've never had a TV before. Well, in my adult life, I had a TV. I didn't even really have a TV when I was younger. Anywho.
You're better off.
I guess, but then I have like bad social skills and I like don't know how to talk to people properly. So there you go for not having a TV. But I'm my uncle bought the house next to me and my house is not finished and his house is. So he's like, "Go, I feel sorry for you. Go stay in my house." And he has a TV and I got the Cowboy channel, so I watched the rodeos and drink beer. Fly just landed on my face. Drink beer, get flies landed on your face.
It happens.
Yeah.
That's great.
So I'm glad I assisted you guys with your Q&As.
What tell me about this ranch life.
Yeah.
I always thought it was interesting. Like, I didn't grow up that way, but I'm always like seem to be around someone or
Yeah.
something. You know, I got Black Angus cattle here in the backyard, but they're not mine.
Oh, gotcha.
But
I guess it's funny how similar there are similarities to railroading, not the actual life skill. The actual life skill is completely different, like riding horseback and moving cows and talking about grass and droughts and stuff is different, but it's definitely a historical job and it's a romanticized job. Like I could tell people I work for the railroad and you're like, I don't know what that means, but it sounds cool. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with ranching. And I only started doing it this year. So I feel like I don't have any right to really talk about it. I don't even like saying I do it on the internet, but it's my life. So I guess I'm allowed to a little bit talk about it, but
yeah,
it's just the place that I work for is a perfect scenario to be starting out in. I learned so much and they're very patient with me. And I've always been wanting horses. I had a horse a few years ago, but I had to sell it and I never got good at riding because I only rode like every once in a while. And my first horse for this job that I have now is like the brokest horse you could possibly own. So I'm like, okay, cool. I'm riding every day, but I'm riding this super broke bridle horse. So cool. And then now I'm slowly starting to get to the point where I can get on other people's horses. I finally got another horse who's safe but has a couple of issues that I'm learning how to train with. So the horseback work is what I'm the most interested in. And I just think farmers and ranchers that's just the punkest shit you can do. You can't people are so disconnected to where your food comes from, what really matters. Working outside with 100 degrees out because you got to get the job done. That's similar to railroading. I mean, some people are railroaders are lazy and just eat donuts and sandwiches also, but still, like I enjoy working, and the reason why I don't think I would be a good full-time musician. Playing music full-time is not the type of work that is inspiring to me. That is very hard work, but it doesn't it's not the physical labor that I need to feel like my life is purposeful.
It makes sense.
I'm with you 100%.
Yeah.
I'm a taxidermist for a living.
Okay. Yeah.
So I work with my hands and less purposeful. No one needs to have a mounted deer on their wall, but we also like trap, garden. I have chickens here and like all these things, can your own stuff. All that stuff's lost, and then our generation's just getting rougher and rougher as everyone wants to be on their iPad and the air conditioning 24/7 like Garrett.
No, hey, listen.
I'm joking.
I work for a farm organization. I do a lot of video work and social and the website and meet with a lot of the farmers and do stuff to help spread the message that you were just talking about.
Somebody's got to help sell it.
That's right. That's what I'm doing. So I appreciate it.
Everyone is good at something. No one is ever going to be good at everything. And
right.
Different people fill different roles. And that's okay, and we have to accept that and not be judgmental towards people doing
Accept it, Justin. Accept it.
What'd you say?
I don't even know how to hook a microphone to a camera and make a YouTube video. I
You
use
could
my
learn.
iPhone to do a gosh darn YouTube. Like, everyone's good at something. Not everyone,
Yep.
but I can, I don't know, bottle feed a calf. Not everyone can do that. So
Yeah. Can
I've
you
done it
bottle?
though. I've done it,
Have you?
Justin.
Okay. I'm just wondering.
yeah.
All right, this is one of the last questions, maybe, but
Okay.
I'm going to bring it down to serious. I hate to get so serious.
We're gonna get cereal.
Very
Can
serial.
I open another beer? This one does.
You crack one open if you got it.
This question's so heavy, you might need whiskey.
Woo!
Are you ready?
Pit the beer down.
What would you say is your favorite summer Olympic sport?
You know that they just added skateboarding,
Yeah,
so I'm just gonna go with that. So I look extra hip.
that's very hip. Very cool. I'm gonna say surfing since that's also new. Justin, yours?
Soon to be roping.
Oh, that's not true.
I know, but we're gonna
Are
start
you
a trend.
gonna- Yeah, what's that called? A petition.
Yes.
You're gonna start a
Why not? Why wouldn't? I mean, that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'd be a lot of flack over that, but got to start somewhere. I don't know. I'd say skateboarding too, for sure. I used to skate when I was younger in middle school and
Yeah.
hit the streets. I was a little punk kid.
Yeah. I can't do tricks, but I like skateboarding. I used to skate my dog around. I can push around a park. I used to be able to drop in, but for some reason I got super scaredy pants. Like, when you can't jump off of a diving board.
Yeah.
You're like, I've jumped off of a diving board plenty of times, but all of a sudden I don't know how to jump off a diving board. That's how it is dropping in. I just stare at and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna go away.
Yeah.
You got to put just all your momentum and weight forward. You can't go half in, or otherwise you're going to eat it.
My body isn't ready to commit to that sort of pressure.
Yeah, you got a bigger idea of mortality now, probably.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have other things that are plenty painful that I do. So I've saved my 9 lives, my cat lives, for other situations.
Yep.
I pretty much
Yeah.
quit skating when I tried to board slide a rail at this park, and I just ate it right on the tailbone. I thought I shattered everything. It's like, I'm getting off this. Never again.
Yeah, there's this teeny tiny park here that is cracked. Oh, the concrete's cracked, and they have this really weird oval, really little but very deep bowl, and then right next to it they have this really shallow ovalish round bowl, and then this like weird. It's just weird. It's just little. It's designed by somebody who never skated, I think, just in the 90s, but I was going into the little tiny bowl, and I had done it a few times in a row. Like, I was like doing it over and over and over again, and I was like feeling pretty confident. I'm like, I'm gonna go a little higher this time, and I hit the tiniest stick, like that big of a stick, and I flew off the board and landed, and I felt like my insides, I felt like all my organs shifted to a different part of my body. And I got up and I'm like, I don't like the way this feels.
Yep.
That's terrible.
Yeah. I mean, I got back on, but I mean, I felt like that for like 4 days.
Right.
Yeah.
That sucks. For sure. I'm hurting just thinking about it, really.
I'm like,
I've gotten too old.
Yeah, I think I'd rather like go swimming now than skate.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Gary, you got any more questions for Jade?
I thought the Olympic one was pretty good. So
Yeah, I mean, it's current events here.
yeah.
So, I mean,
Wait, hold on. Let me change my answer. What is this is very important. What's the sport on the ice?
Curling.
Yes.
That's the #1 Olympic sport. 100%. No question.
I changed my answer. That dupes skateboarding.
No, but mine was Summer Olympics, but Winter Olympics.
Yeah,
you're
winter.
absolutely
Oh.
right. Curling
So I
all
still
the way.
answered proper.
Yeah, you can have both.
You can have both. Yes.
Sounds good.
Perfect.
I want to do that though. Like I want to go to a place and do the curl with the broomsticks and go crazy.
You could be absolutely sloshed and still curl. I think that's what's just so great about it.
I'd be
I think
falling.
you have to wear a helmet though if you were
Probably.
wasty.
Probably.
Probably.
Ice isn't very forgiving.
No, I'd wear a helmet if I was getting wasted on ice.
Yeah.
Wasted on ice. Can we write that like play? That sounds like
It should be something. Absolutely should be something.
wasted on ice. It could be our interpretive dance, like winter play.
Yeah, it's the adult Disney on ice, wasted on ice. 100%. It's got to happen.
If we can have curling be a part of the
Yeah. That's the protagonist's main journey is he's trying to make the Olympic team.
but then the whole time he's trying to practice when he's too drunk. And he keeps falling and then his friend gives him like a magic helmet.
It's gold. Get a journal out.
Did you
Get a
just-
journal out.
Somebody
and start
write this
writing.
down. I guess we could always go back and reference
And
this
then
video,
the
but
gold helmet makes him feel confident and then he gets into the Olympics. It's an underdog story.
It's got to be an underdog. story.
the golden
100%.
helmet gets the golden medal.
Yes.
Wasted on ice.
I'm
Coming
into it.
2014.
I'm into it. We got to
All
get.
right,
We have
Jade.
3 years to get it ready. Though, sorry. Till the next, we debut it right before the Winter Olympics. That's it.
Yeah.
There will be time. I want to see a script though.
I'll get on
Send
it.
me the script when it's ready.
Okay. I'll have my underwriter send it. The ghostwriter that I hired a couple of years ago. I'll get him working on it right now.
If the Ghost Rider is Nicolas Cage, I think we're in business.
Face off.
And Ghost Rider. You remember when he was a skeleton on the
That's
motorcycle?
Did I do that
Oh
correctly?
yeah,
Yeah.
you went over my head with that one too.
Okay, good.
I was like,
Yep.
Ghost Rider. Oh yeah. Well, we appreciate your time, Jade, and I like what you're doing. Like your music.
Thank you.
I like your attitude. All that good stuff. It goes a long way.
I like your style.
Your head's
I
in the
like
right
your
place.
That's like the opposite of the fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you're okay, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.
Pretty much.
Thank you guys for wanting to talk to me.
Tell
Yeah,
tell
we'll be in
everybody where
touch
they,
and
oh, you gotta tell everybody
yes,
where
yeah,
they
we
can
can't
find you.
forget that.
Oh, I have a website, jadebrodie.com, and that has links to everything. Like everything's under Jade Brodie. My YouTube channel, my Instagram's Jade Bro. But if you look up Jade Brodie, it'll pop up. So
Do you have merch on there to buy?
I
So
don't.
people can support. Come on.
I had merch that I made for my tour, and then I haven't made anything since. I had cassettes and shirts and stickers, and I mean, I still have stickers. If somebody writes me a message, I'll send them a sticker in an envelope and a thank you note.
There you go.
I have a design for a shirt, but I thought about maybe saving it for a pre-sale. I thought maybe for my album I can have a pre-sale, and if you buy a pre-sale album, I'll send you the shirt and just saving the design for that. That's what I was thinking. But I don't really have any. I thought about maybe doing like a lyrics. If anyone
Yeah, I've
wanted
seen
to
people
buy
doing that. That's cool.
handwritten, or I have a typewriter, like I could type out lyrics. But I haven't really been on point with my music game. So, but at least YouTube has some videos, and yeah, the Instagram and just jadebrodie.com is the easiest if you like websites. If you like social media, I use the Instagram the most. I have a Facebook, but I don't really use it.
You're also on TikTok, I believe. Don't forget that.
I'm on TikTok, but I don't use it. I feel old.
I don't have it either.
It's overstimulating, and then I can handle, somebody takes a few pictures of you and you're like, that one's good, I'm gonna use that picture. And then if you have something to say, I'm like, here's a picture of me. And by the way, this thing's coming up. But TikTok, you got to like actually make effort in making videos, and you have to kind of be funny. And I have one video where my horse like bites my hat, and for some reason has like over 1 million views, and I'm like, I don't like this. Like, yeah. So I have one, but I don't know how to use it. Maybe I could hire like a teenager to run my TikTok for me.
That's what you need to do. Yep.
Yeah.
Social media, it's all the craze.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good tool. It's a nice free tool. But then in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, it's like MySpace. Like if your whole fan base was based off of MySpace, then you're out of luck now. So I feel a little insecure that people might know me on Instagram, but then they don't. I don't know. Like I don't know. It's one of those things, like the MySpace thing. It's PTSD from the thousands.
Yeah.
It's true.
So, yeah. Yep.
I forgot to tell you too. My wife likes the lyrics in the asshole song because she says it hits a little close to home.
I work too hard to come home to an asshole.
I was like, what are you talking about? I'm always nice.
What are you talking about? I don't understand what you're saying. I'm always nice to you. I've never been mean in my life. I always make dinner.
Oh,
That's right.
Yeah. I have this. I don't think I'll be able to do it. I have this other song right now that I'm trying to work on. That's about being. I was in a car with. I'm not trying to name drop. I was really excited to meet Summer Dean. I met Summer Dean, and I'm friends with Riddy Armin, and so because of Riddy, I met Summer Dean, and we were chatting in a car. I'm not name dropping. I'm just saying it was exciting. And we were talking about songs, and we were talking because they all are they're hardworking ladies too. And we were talking about being a hard worker, but then when you come home, you still want to feel like your sweetie wants to be a sweetie. So it's it's not a gender role thing, but it's just like this thing. It's just this thing that happens if you have more of a masculine job, and then you come home and people are confused on how to treat you. So I was trying to write a song about that idea, and I
think it works both ways.
Exactly.
When I come home, I want to be, my sweetie be sweet to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, where it can go guy or girl, no gender.
Girl. It's a concept. So I was trying to figure that out. So, anywho, I don't know why I brought that up.
Because I brought it up.
Because Justin's an asshole.
I brought up the song randomly because I forgot.
Because it's kind of similar to Asshole, but not. But yeah, that song, I worked too hard for an asshole. I mean, that's a true story. So, and people like it. I feel like I wrote a song that somebody can sing the lyrics to and be stoked about it. So I feel pretty good about that.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I feel like there's so many little anecdotes, but I'm holding myself back from talking too much. Reel it in.
Oh no, you're fine. We have no set schedule. We can do whatever we want. We're not sponsored. We can.
Yeah.
Not yet. We're trying to get some like free beer out of the deal. We'll see.
Oh hell yeah.
We'll definitely keep an eye on you, and for when you come through town or whatever, I'll definitely be there to support your music. So.
Yeah, thank you. I'll book a tour around you guys.
Yeah. Our little spot is Duke's Indy.
Oh.
Yeah. It's perfect for you.
And I talked to I had an email with the owner just passed away, right?
Yeah, Dustin.
So I actually got to have an email with him right before that happened, and I felt fortunate I was at least able to talk to him one time.
Yeah,
Yep.
it sucked. I mean, the community really lost a good guy, especially in the scene, and
Yeah,
so he's a hard
Yeah.
worker. He lived at that place, you know.
yeah. It's not an easy thing. Anything involving music and, I mean, just running a bar alone, and then on top of that, being able to host
Yeah.
bands is not easy. So anyone that puts the the effort out to host bands and to actually pay bands to play there, it's not easy, and it's few and far between, and
Right.
something
They're still
celebrated.
they're still working out some things. I mean, he's pretty young, didn't have a will or anything, and had another owner. So, but the goal is to continue it. It's a venue still. I was there Saturday night for Vincent Neil Emerson.
Oh, cool.
He was great, and so yeah, look them back up and see what you can do.
Yeah, I would definitely book a tour just around that show.
Yeah, it's become a nice little spot, like known spot in the Midwest.
Cool.
So
Mhm.
good deal.
Right on.
Garrett, you got anything final to say? Any last words?
No, I'm good.
Satisfied.
This was great. This
He's
was great.
satisfied.
Yeah.
It was a great interview. I had a blast.
Yeah.
Thanks. I always get nervous.
The most awkward part is signing off.
Yep. So, all right. Well,
like,
see you later.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
We'll see you.